welcome back. We're ready to start the next session. So it's important how to determine the category and series also here, even in the radar charts. So as I showed, the series will come inside as the lines, and the categories will come on the outside of the radar. So right, we'll move on to the next part of the presentation. So in this part 6, we'll be learning about gauge and single value charts. Again, something not very commonly seen in our analysis, but some people might be very familiar. So we'll go through these two types also. So we'll first create a gauge chart. So we will use the OPV3 coverage. For this chart, gauge charts are usually recommended to show a proportion. For example, like in the car dashboard, you see a certain an indicator going up to a certain level. So likewise, in a gauge chart, the one part will be indicated as complete and the other part as not complete. So usually it's like a proportion, and the main area where we use is on the percentage indicators. So I suggest you to use percentage indicators when practicing gauge charts, because it will be more clear what the chart shows. So I'll go to the instance and I'll create a new chart. The chart type would be a gauge chart this time, and again you can see the change in the layout of the gauge chart. So you have only one thing to select, that is the series, and all the others will be in the filter here. So you can show only one component in gauge chart. So I'm going to select the OPV3 coverage as the data. So go to data. It's an immunization. There is coverages group also. Let's hope it's there. Right. So it's already there, the indicator. You can see when you go to coverages, you see all the percentages here. So it's easy to use in a gauge chart. I'm going to use OPV3 coverage. And then for the moment, I will hide it. And organization unit, it's training land selected, and period, it's last 12 months selected. So I will update and see how it shows. So this is a gauge chart which you can use in the dashboard. There you can see 72.6% coverage in training land for the last 12 months. So it's very easy when you have it a percentage. Let's move on to the options we have for the gauge chart. If you click on gauge, you can see you can have a target line, baseline. Then in addition to what we saw earlier, there is another tab called legend. So this is, you can use legends to change this color in this gauge chart. If you click that, you can use legend changes background color and text color. You can use a predefined, or you can select a single legend for the entire table. So if you have predefined or you have a defined legend, let's say API coverage, you can apply it to that and the colors will change. So this is something new in the new layout. So you can change the colors of this by using a legend. But legends, I think Priyanka explained last week how to create, where to create. So you can use one of these for the gauge charts. Next, we are going to a single value chart. So these are very simple charts, not very high complex. You don't have to think about series categories, just one value, the pie charts, gauge charts, single value charts. Single value charts will highlight the key indicators, particularly on a dashboard. That means it will show only a number. There is no chart actually, it's just a number they will show. Any examples, anything you can think of where a single value showed on a dashboard, that is in big numbers, big font. Any examples you can think which this chart would be useful from the recent experiences? Anybody who has seen it?
Number of COVID deaths.
Yes, exactly. So during the COVID epidemic, we saw many dashboards coming up with numbers. The daily deaths, daily number of cases, the monthly number of cases. There we had to emphasize on the number only. So that every morning when the administrator comes, he will see, okay, today this number of cases were reported and this number of cases were, this number of people died from COVID. So they will only need the number. So for that type, if you have seen the DHIS2 surveillance tracker for COVID-19, it has used this single value charts very effectively. So when you see the dashboard, you can see the number of the cases for that day. So we don't have, I don't think we have COVID data in this instance. So we will use BCG coverage again. You can use any indicator you want. I will use BCG coverage indicator to show how a single value chart is shown. I'm going to click new chart and go to single value chart. Again, you can see you get only one dimension here, series. You don't get a category. So the data you want will be shown in the series, and you can see another change here. You can see a lock on the data. That is because in single value charts, you can show only data. You can't show log units. Let's try to put log unit here. It will go back. It will put period. It will go back. So currently, it's only limited to data. You can't be showing organization unit because there is no single number allocated to an organization unit. Likewise, no period. So it's locked to data. So you can select only a data item. So if I go to data and again select the BCG coverage in immunization, it's on top, and I select it and update. So you can see a single value chart here. You see only the value of the coverage. So you can put it in the dashboard and easily read the number rather than having tables or highly complex charts. If you just want to show the number like in COVID, you can use this. And if you go to options again, you can see the legend tab again. So you can use a different type of legend if you want. So the number color will change. Okay. So next we will move on to the next part. So we will next look at, now things are getting a little complex because pie charts, gauge charts, single value, those are very easy. Now we are going to have a cumulative value chart. What do you mean by cumulative is things will get added on when you go along the x-axis. So the first category value will be added to the second category. Likewise, it will be added to the end, till the end. So can anyone explain what type of data will be good to be shown in a cumulative value and what type of chart is good for a cumulative value? Can anybody answer that?
like number of cases. So we want to show the day, I mean, what is daily and what is cumulative up to today.
Yes, good example. And what type of chart would you use with that?
Line chart
Maybe
may be appropriate.
bar chart.
Time
Do you have
series
it?
chart is a beta, I think.
Yes. So as you mentioned, number of cases is a good thing to be shown as a cumulative chart. For example, people in Sri Lanka might be familiar with dengue or even HIV in certain countries. So you plot 1 year, let's say monthly, and you start with January, let's say 10 cases, and February you get, let's say 20 cases. Let's go for HIV. So total in February will be 30, unless the patient is dead. So we can see a cumulative number of patients at the end with HIV when you come to December. So all the numbers will add up to December, because HIV you usually treat for lifelong. You don't the patients will be continuously under your treatment if they are not dead. So you will know the number of patients under your care at the end. So that instance would be a very good instance to show a cumulative value chart. And the chart type, yes, a line chart is a good chart to show a cumulative value. And if somebody wants, you can use a bar or a column chart also. So time series line chart would be a good option, I think. So we will try cumulative values on this chart. So data which we are using is patients living with HIV, new on ART. There will be two series, male and female, for 2019. So for 2019, let's say we start from January, and at the end we get the number for December for training land. So we will try to create this chart in our instance. I'm going to create a new chart. So we will try a line chart here, because it will give a better visualization, the time series. And the data would be in the HIV, PLHIV, let's say new on ART. I'm going to select that. Let's hide it for the moment. Period. Period is last 12 months defined here, but I would prefer it to have from January to December. So I will use a fixed period in 2019 monthly, so January to December. Rather than having last 12 months, you can have anything, but I prefer to have 1 year cohort here. I'm going to remove last 12 months and add fixed 12 months. Again, I will hide this. You can check whether it's there here. Both are there. Organic is training land. What am I missing now from the chart which I showed? I have two lines here for male and female. So I'm going to add this disaggregation sex into the chart. Male, female and male. Add to series. Now I should get my chart for patients living with HIV pneumonia ART for 2019 monthly. This is still the number of cases. It's already going up, but it is not a cumulative chart, because you can see there is little variation here, 2400 and 2480. So the numbers are not added together, but the cases are going high. But I want to know how many patients for the whole year, not for December here, for the whole year. And I want to check at the end what is the difference between male and female like at the end of year. Here you can see monthly the difference between female and male. You can see many females than males, but you don't know exact total difference of how many males or females. So we are going to use the cumulative chart here. There is no different chart type called cumulative chart. Here you can't see any cumulative chart here, but you can use the options button to create the cumulative charts. So here if you select the cumulative values, this option I didn't discuss earlier because we were coming back to this later. Now if I select cumulative values and update, you can see numbers adding together. 2000, then it comes to 4000 with the 2000 cases in February, then it comes to 7000 with the February cases and March cases. Likewise, it's adding up, and at the end you get 34,000 cases females and 23,000 male cases. So you can see it's almost 1.5 times higher in females, and you can see the exact number of patients for that year, total year. So this is useful in such instances. Somebody wanted to do a bar chart, bar chart or a column chart for this. So let's try how it will show in a bar chart, maybe a column chart. So that is how cumulative totals are shown in a column chart. There again, it's good visualization, but I would prefer the line chart than this because you can easily differentiate how they are going, how the two lines are going. But you can put a line over this and also see that. Go to options. You can add a trend line here, and you can see how the cases are going. So that is about cumulative charts. So where you can put the option, put the cumulative parties, go to options and add cumulative values. So if you are asked to make a cumulative chart, there is no particular chart type. You have to go to this options menu and add the cumulative options. Right. So we will move on to the last part, I think. Last chart type for the day, that is year over year chart. This is also a new chart in DHIS2. I think you were introduced to this year over year concept during the WHO data quality app where you get year over year charts. But we'll just go through what are these and how to create an year over year chart in our data visualizer app rather than going in the WHO data quality app. So we'll see what is the difference between an year over year chart and a line chart and how to create a year over year chart. Let us see this chart, BCG coverage year over year chart, and compare it with just BCG coverage by month for the last 3 years. I will go to the data visualizer and create a new chart and choose year over year line here. There are two things, year over year column chart is also there, but I prefer year over year line chart. And now again you can see a difference here in the layout. Again, the layout is fixed now. For the series, you get the years. You can select the years which you want. And for the categories, you can select the months or quarters or days or weeks which you want in the x-axis. The data and the org units are in the organization unit. So I'm going to create year-over-year chart for BCG coverage. So I'm going to select the data, indicator, immunization coverage, BCG coverage. So I want to compare 3 years, 2017, 18 and 19 monthly. So in the series, I will need 2017, 18 and 19. Notice that it will select the years, and already this year and last year are selected, which I don't want. I'm going to remove this. So you can see now 2017, 18 and 19 are selected. Then I go to the category. In category, you can select either months per year or weeks per year. So it's up to the data element you are selecting. Or you can see quarters per year. For example, if you are doing a TB comparison, you have to select quarters because you don't collect TB monthly data. So for this chart, I will keep months per year. Now let's update the chart. Now you can see the BCG coverage year-over-year chart for 2017 in green, 2018 in blue, and 2019 in red for the 12 months of the year. So you can easily compare the 3 years. Let's do the same chart in a normal line chart. Let's try the normal chart in a normal line chart. So I will add a line chart. My data would be BCG coverage, series, and my categories would be, I need the 3 years, 2017, all the months, then 2018, all the months, and 2019, all months, and org unit is selected. Let's update and see. So you get this chart where you have the same data, the same BCG coverage for the last 3 years. So if you go compare the two charts, this chart and this chart, you have the same data for the same period for the same org unit. What do you think of the charts? Which one is easier, and any particular reason you want to choose? So any comments? I need somebody to comment on the two charts and say which one you prefer and why do you prefer that.
Yeah, year by year chart is easy to compare the trends for each month. So I prefer that year by year chart if I want to compare same month for the 3 years.
Yes, exactly. So if you want to compare same month for an year, let's say for April, what is the number? You can do it here. You can go to April here and again April here and see likewise. But here it is very easy to compare the month of different years. This is more important in certain cases, let's say like seasonal cases like a dengue, where you get outbreaks during a rainy season or certain seasons, and you can easily compare the years and see which months have the trend of high trends and low trends, and is it consistent over the years? Likewise, you can analyze. I think you might have discussed these things in the WHO data quality app. So I just wanted to show that you can create charts, line charts, in two ways, but you can choose which one is better. So just to explain again about the category and series. So you can have here the series and category are both periods. There you can't put the data or unit as series and category because these are fixed. For series, you can select the years which you want, and category, the frequency of categories, that is whether monthly or quarterly. So any questions up to now? I've tried to go slow because there was a lot to be covered. I might have gone a little faster in certain places because most of the things basics were covered last week. But there is anything you want me to repeat, because we have some time now before going into the exercise. There's anything anybody wants to get clarified, you can ask now. Right, since there are no comments or requests, I will just go on a summary of what we did today, the review points, the important points which you want to take home. So in data visualizer, we saw how different chart types can be made. So you can select different chart types. There were 12 chart types. We went through most of them, and different chart types have different layouts. It's not easy, not straightforward like the pivot table where you get the columns and charts. Here we have series, category and filter dimensions, and those also change with the chart type. So you have to practice this to get a good understanding of how each chart type layout is done. So it's interesting, not boring as the tables, but you need some practice to make the correct chart type. And before selecting the correct chart type, you have to think of what is the best type, what is the information you are going to display. Sorry. So certain data will not be useful in certain chart types. So we discussed a lot of these things. So if you think that chart is not good enough, you can switch between a chart and use a different chart to show what you want to show. So the important thing is what you want to show, and that also can be a little dangerous because people can be easily misled using charts. For example, we had the Sri Lankan people might be knowing during the COVID, certain people came up with different charts and different interpretations were given. So you have to be very careful when selecting the chart type, and you should be able to create appropriate charts. So selecting these dimensions are similar to the pivot tables. The selection procedure is the same, except that they go to series and categories. And you can alter the layout. Like I mentioned, you can drag and drop, and you can do chart options to make the charts more visible, clear, and save the chart as favorites so that you can use it in the dashboard, which we will be discussing in a few days time, how to create dashboards and how to use the favorites in the dashboards. So make sure you go through this, what we have done, and save some of the charts using your initials so that you can use them when you are doing the dashboards. So as I mentioned, understanding the layout for different chart types is the key, which you might not be familiar at this moment because It was a lot of information to take, but when you practice it, you will be confident with the layouts. And you can do different options such as cumulative values, stacked values, for it to make for the people to easily understand the chart. And most importantly, the chart should stand on its own. That is, the person who looks at the chart, even if he or she doesn't know where the data came from, he should be able to interpret that. So you should have the titles and the labels. That is the most important thing, which we learned even from our school days. So make sure you have enough information also embedded in the chart, and also target lines if appropriate. And then the bad news, we have an exercise for this which will be uploaded in the Moodle. So there will be a graded exercise. So it's a final, for the final mark, I think 10 points will be carried out from this exercise, and it will be a group exercise. All instructions will be given in the sheet like you did in the pivot table, and you have to submit the exercise by 10 a.m. tomorrow. And please use your group name when you are saving the favorites and taking screenshots, so that instructors will, it will be easy for the instructors. So I think the assignment will be uploaded by now, so you have ample time. You have about 1 hour for discussions and going through the assignment and finish it off, so that you can enjoy the rest of the day. So with that, I would like to stop my session, and please fill the feedback. And thank you for listening to me